Coming up in this edition of Cogeco News, the decision is in from the province regarding return to school in September. Open again, the Calendar Legion. And Pet of the Week, a big one. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this Thursday edition of Cogeco News. I am Greg Asterbrooks. In a long-awaited, anticipated decision, Ontario's Education Ministry will allow parents to choose between sending their children to school in the fall or taking part in board-provided remote learning. That is one of the main parts of the Education Minister's address, but many other facets are involved in the back-to-school address made today. We hear from Education Minister Stephen Lecce, but before that, we hear from Premier Doug Ford.
Because when it comes to keeping our kids safe, I won't take any unnecessary risks. And that's why the plan we're announcing today is backed by the latest science and the best health advice available to us. And as Sick Kids has pointed out, we need to weigh the risks of COVID-19 against the harm of school closures. We need to consider the toll it's taking on the physical and mental health and personal development of our kids. We know isolation has been extremely hard on them, not being able to see or play with their friends. We also know our children, especially the younger ones and those with special needs, need the benefit, guidance, and routine of in-class instruction from their teachers.
First, all publicly funded elementary schools will be reopening province-wide in September 5 days a week. This will also include a safe reopening of the childcare sector to permit operators to reach that full capacity as of September 1. That was a promise the Premier and I have made to moms and dads of this province, and it's a promise we intend to keep. Second, most secondary schools will reopen under an adapted model that limits the size and the interaction of cohorts. As we have previously laid out, groups of 15 students will alternate between attending class in person and online. Secondary schools with lower risk profiles will be able to reopen with a full return to class in person 5 days a week.
Now, the Near North Board says they will be reviewing this and making their own announcement in the coming days. Clark Hypa will be at their board meeting on this night, and we'll have a bit of an update for you on Friday. We'll also hear from Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli on this big issue. At long last, a Legion in our area is now open to the public. Calendar Legion Branch 445 is back up and running following more than 4 months of being shut down due to the coronavirus pandemic. More from Clark Hypa.
Well, St. Patrick's Day, typically a happy-go-lucky day. However, St. Patrick's Day 2020, a sad day for this Legion and Legions across Canada. That is when they closed their doors due to the coronavirus pandemic. Flash forward many months later, here on July 30th, Legion Branch 445 is open. Seeing that glowing neon sign behind me right there, a welcome sign welcoming in civilians, comrades, veterans, anyone and everyone to enjoy some good company.
Day is here, Clark. You know what? It's just nice to maybe get a little bit of normalcy back in our lives. So we're open 1 to 5.
What are you hearing from the folks that come in?
Oh, everybody's glad to be back. Very happy to be back, yes. I thought I might get some flack over the signage, but no, everybody's, yeah, sign my name, I don't care.
So people sign in, they sanitize, they sit down, and then are they served by a waiter?
No.
Do they go to the bar, or how does it work?
When they go to the bar, they have to put their mask back on. They get their drinks, bring them to the table, and then they can remove their masks.
And is this a wait-and-see process to see when hours will be extended?
It is. It absolutely is. It's to see how well this goes, and I think it's going to go fairly well. This is Thursday, and we've got a fair number of people here, so we're hoping Friday and Saturday will even be more.
Now, it may be hard to see the smiles through the masks, but it's pretty easy to say that people are smiling.
People are definitely smiling. I think they're just glad to see everybody and look at the changes in the Legion and just normalcy, a bit anyway.
Tell us about those improvements to the lounge.
We repainted all the walls. No, not myself, but they were repainted. Brand new carpeting throughout, and the Ladies Auxiliary donated a 75-inch colored TV.
Now, people watching, they might be thinking, well, I'm not a veteran, I'm not a Legion member, I'm not allowed to come out. Is that true?
Anybody can come to our lounge. Absolutely anybody. Back in the day, you used to have to be a veteran to sign into the lounge. No longer. Anybody can come and sign in and enjoy.
How much is a membership?
Depending on your age, if you're under 65, it's $60. If you're over 65, it's $55 for the year.
And what does that get people? It gets people an official badge, it gets people some paraphernalia to wear at parades?
Yeah, a badge. And to become a member of a great organization is the main thing. Some of the money helps with the veterans in our community. All of our Poppy money stays within our community to help our veterans. It's a great Legion to be a part of. It's a very active, fun-loving Legion.
By the time this airs on this Thursday, you will have closed for the day. When are you open once again?
Open again on Friday, 1 to 5, and then Saturday, 1 to 5.
Looking forward to seeing Clark's badge, yes. Time once again for the Chamber Chat, and this week, CEO and President of the Chamber of Commerce, Peter Cogeco, continues his buy local push.
It is very important that people do shop local and support our local merchants, our local businesses. Everything that you can do locally is going to help those businesses that support our community and support our community quite strongly and have over the past number of years. They need our help, and that's what we are encouraging through the Canada United program. It's going to culminate on the weekend of August 28th, where there's going to be a national weekend where we're encouraging everybody to shop Canadian and shop local. It's been sponsored by RBC and over 50 corporate sponsors right across Canada, and the Canadian Chamber and the Ontario Chamber of Commerce. So we are 100% behind the shop local, and we hope that certainly government right across this country look at how they procure products and that they choose Canada first.
One side result of the pandemic and the closure of the border may make Canada more self-sufficient in what they produce, correct?
Well, and that's that's hoped, that we're not reliant on imports to especially when it comes to PPE, medical supplies, etc. I think that we saw that at the beginning of this that we were not held hostage, but held hostage to a certain extent in getting the necessary equipment that we needed. And that has sparked a groundswell of innovation through manufacturers. We look here in North Bay Plastics, we look at New Ontario Brewery, some of those, Living Canvas, those people that took the initiative, changed their manufacturing and started supplying to the government of Ontario and also local purchasers as well. So I think that from this whole thing that it has spawned that initiative and that innovation that is required to bring us through this pandemic.
I wanted to ask about the issue of Peter Cogeco becoming an honorary colonel. I took a bit of a minor swipe at you last week, but obviously it was a day, I would say an emotional day. Is that fair to say?
Extremely emotional day. It was when you actually sort of look at the full breadth of it. There's been 265 honorary colonels chosen out of Canada since the start of this program. And it was an honor that was bestowed upon myself, an honor to work with the men and women of the armed forces, 22 Wing specifically, and some of the great work that has been done locally through this program. George Burton, Paul Cook, Scott Clark, and a very humbling experience. And I look forward to serving with these people and assisting them in connecting the base with our community, continue to connect that.
Another connection needs to be made in person in regards to reopening the Chamber office, closed for almost 5 months now, still going to be closed for about another 6 weeks.
Yes, absolutely, and we're working hard to get that our building and our office space reopened. Right now we're just installing various different PPEs, shields, door openers, automatic door openers, etc. And the unique situation that we have being co-located with Discovery Routes, Tourism North Bay, the DIA or Downtown North Bay, and Creative Industries presents its own sets of problems, obviously, when we want to make sure that everybody's safe and everybody remains healthy. But we are shooting for a September 1 reopening of our building, and we've had just nothing but cooperation from our landlord, Rob Jameson from Century 21, who's been terrific in allowing us to get ourselves back open.
We're going to shut her down for just a moment. Back with an update from the Capitol Center. Still a long way to go before they can fully reopen. And also, Pet of the Week is back. Welcome back, everybody. While they're still singing the blues at the Capitol Center these days, and not the kind of blues you can listen to and see somebody sing on stage, some restrictions, as most of you know, have been lifted, but management is going through some tough times, trying to be as creative as possible to generate revenue in this tough time.
That phase 3 allows us to open with up to 50 people, which in our world, that doesn't mean we can have shows yet, because we need hundreds of people, not like 50 we can't really do much with, other than we can bring some current staff who are working remotely back into the building. We can start to do a few things like that, like get our protocols in place for when we do reopen. So it's really that kind of thing that we can do right now.
I asked Katina this question. I'll ask you the same one. What about upstairs, having a limited performance with, somebody performing for 50 people upstairs?
You have to keep in mind keeping people distanced. There's actually more room for that in the theater. So even once we do get to being able to host live performances in the theater, say we get to the point where we can do a few hundred people, which we could do then, a small performance, you're going to sit people, 6 feet apart. So that will take up, that's basically a third of the theater seating, because it's over 932 seats. So you can sit 300 maybe in the theater with the way it is right now. Movies, we need, normally, I can tell you that normally our Sunday cinemas and our Throwback Thursday movies would get usually anywhere between 100 and 300 people, depending on the movie. So we're still looking at, that level of being able to have people in the building. It's a very difficult year for us. We're really grateful for the government grants that have helped us along with some other businesses to keep us going. But we have had to shift gears to online programming, and now we've moved that further into fundraising. Since we can't do normal shows to drive revenue, we're doing our shared benefits concerts, which is, as you might have heard, we're splitting the donations that come in each Thursday night from our online performance with the artist. So if $500 comes in that night, it's $250 and $250 for the artist and for us. So I mean, it's been pretty good so far.
Let's hope it gets a lot better for them soon. It is a tradition here at Your TV and Cogeco for everybody out there, whether you work 9 to 5, 12 to 8, or 8 to 4, whatever. It cues us up for another edition of Pet O' the Week. And this Thursday, we feature a high-wired young canine named Sadie.
This week we wanted to feature one of the southern ladies that we have in the shelter. So she's come up from Fort Erie, so wasn't able to find her ideal home there. She really struggled with their lifestyle in the southern, province of Ontario, trying to find like a country home, lots of energy, lots of activities. So here at the North Bay Humane Society, we would like to feature Sadie and look for her ideal home.
What do we know about her history?
So Sadie is a female. She's about 2 years old right now and absolutely very high energy. So the home that we're looking for is very outgoing, energetic. If you've got trails, if you've got property running, that sort of thing. One of her biggest struggles is she cannot be around other animals. So she does have a history of aggression with cats, dominance with dogs, and unpredictability with regards to her general behavior. So she's been okay and she shows very well in the kennel environment here. Again, very outgoing, very active, very social, but we don't want to put her in a position where she maybe feels threatened or feels like she's got to defend her area. So we are looking for a home where she can be the center of attention.
Now, this could be an issue when it comes to walking around in public. What would you recommend for a dog owner who has a dog that's aggressive on leash that really is tricky walking around other dogs?
You got it. So there's a lot of things that we want to work through with people. So if anybody's interested in adopting Sadie, don't come in saying, I'm going to take her home. Come in thinking, ask questions. What is your lifestyle like right now, and what can you do moving forward? I don't foresee it being a problem, her walking down the street, as long as maybe a dog's across the road or down the street and you can say, okay, well, I'm going to turn around now instead of approaching farther. A lot of what her behavior is going to stem on is how much training she gets, how much exercise she's able to achieve, and how much of her energy she can burn. So predominantly her original lifestyle was a lot of outdoors, a lot of just sort of running around and being the dog that she wanted to be. Whereas now, being on leash, being controlled, she's going to have to learn manners and learn what to do and when to do it. So it's going to be a lot of training and building that rapport. She may be dog friendly at a later date in her life because she is still young and there is a lot of potential, but we don't want to set her up right now for failure. So we really want to get her into a situation where she can learn and grow and then build up to that later.
Much like the stigma around masks, that's being broken down day by day. What about muzzles for dogs? I know it's perceived to be kind of a nasty thing. If you put a muzzle on a dog, that's just a nasty dog, but that's not true.
No, absolutely. The muzzles are more for protection. So it's not about the dog is bad, the dog is aggressive, the dog is negative in any way. Muzzles are protection. So protection against other people if you're worried, which we don't see any human aggression from her at all. But it's just on the off chance, if you fear that she's going to break her collar by chance if she pulls too strongly, the muzzle is just added protection. It's definitely something that we wouldn't probably put her on a muzzle right now because we have a lot of area where we control and foresee, what's coming around the corner and that sort of thing. But muzzle definitely is not a negative thing. We just want to make sure it's being used properly.
If somebody's interested in Sadie and wants to explore, it will be a challenging adoption, but some people are up for the challenge. What should they do?
Definitely. So at the Humane Society, we're all about the questions. We want to talk through things with people, encouraging everybody to give us a call, send us an email, ask the questions before you step that bound and fill out the application. If you have any reservation at all, give us a call and we'd be happy to talk through things.
That muzzle pitch is giving me a wonderful idea. Breakdown has arrived at Cogeco News. And of course, this used to be, well, it's still a long weekend, but it used to be, of course, Summer in the Park. And before that, the Heritage Festival. And Clark's been here since 2011. And we used to host it. So he wants to reminisce a bit and maybe do a little bit of weather at the same time. Stay tuned.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
Clark Heifel here reflecting on a near decade of summer in the park memories. Welcome back to Cogeco News. Clark here for your 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Canadore College. I'm at the top of North Bay's natural amphitheater at North Bay's Community Waterfront Park. Yes, we're leading into the August long weekend in the summer of 2020. In years gone by, this would be the time where the stage for summer in the park is being set up at the bottom of this hill. The tech crew would be here. The bands would be arriving tomorrow to do their sound checks. And then the acts would take to the stage on Friday night and Saturday night, as well as Sunday during the day to entertain the guests. However, Summer in the Park has not run. The last running of Summer in the Park was the summer of 2018 when it was held in Memorial Gardens. That did not go well for attendance, and then the rest is history. No Summer in the Park in 2019, and even if it was happening this year, it wouldn't be because of COVID. So here I reflect on many good memories that I had as Cogeco was the title sponsor for many years, and I wanted to come up with an all-star roster. And this is just based on my experience for Summer in the Park, so I am missing many good years of the Heritage Festival as well as Summer in the Park musical acts. I moved here in 2011, so I am going on 2011 through 2018 of what I encountered on stage. So let's go to my imaginary all-star lineup for what would be a perfect time at 2020 Summer in the Park. Of course, this is just fictitious, so don't go out looking for tickets, please. On Friday night of 2020 Summer in the Park, I would welcome Corey Marks on stage to warm up the stage for Johnny Reed. That would be a lot of fun. On Saturday, one of my favorite Canadian bands of all time, of course, behind the Tragically Hip, the Sheepdogs. They would warm up the stage for rocker Joan Jett. When Miss Jett was here in 2011, I was backstage and she smiled at me. Yes, that is a true story, Greg. I know he's jealous. Now, for Sunday, we're going to have a bonus night on Sunday. Kim Mitchell warms up the stage for Meatloaf. Meatloaf finally performing at Summer in the Park. Rain held him off one year and for various reasons was held off the stage for another year. So Meatloaf in fictitious 2020 Summer in the Park, he will perform to a roaring crowd. What a time that would be. And just in pure irony, as Summer in the Park is not happening, the weather is perfect. What would you know? Let's take a look at that 5-day forecast for the August long weekend, brought to you by Canadore College. Heading overnight on this Thursday night for the 4th straight night. Risk of a thunderstorm. Will it materialize tonight? Time will tell. A low of 15 degrees. Friday of the August long weekend, it's July 31st. Mix of sun and cloud. It's going to be a spectacular day. High 26 with the humidex making it feel like 30. The UV index will be 8. So we're SPF 8,000. Overnight Friday night, clear skies with a low of 16. On Saturday, nicer still, 27 and 16 with sun. Wear sunscreen to prevent you from looking like a lobster. On Sunday, the 2nd of August, cloudy skies, chance of showers, high 24. And overnight on Sunday night into the holiday Monday, low 15. Now on Civic Monday, high 21, low 13, sun and cloud mix. Turning the page back to the almanac, Wednesday was a nice day. 25 and 14 was the high and low. And guess what? For the second straight day, looking back, we matched the normal high and low for this time of July. There you have it. There is your 5-day forecast and daydreaming of Summer in the Park 2020. It's not happening. Please do not email us asking where to buy tickets. Just enjoy some music of those bands on your phone or internet browser on your computer. Let's head to a quick break. My best buddy in the entire world, not just in the news business, Greg Esterbrook. He'll have your sportscast right after this.
All right, want to mention one more time, we'll keep mentioning it. 30 days of summer, share your summer. Your TV wants you to do that, to head over to Your TV North Bay on Facebook, comment, picture what you're doing this summer. There are prizes in the offing. Tennis demolition coming later tonight. We'll update on Friday. That's it for Cogeco News.